Yes,
bring it
yeah,
back.
I would
Tap it.
exactly. I would say it is a labor
That's
of
the
love
next name of your beer.
Yeah,
Labor of
Flavor
Love
Bond.
I should just invite you all. You know, every time I need an idea for
Gladly.
Gladly, as long as we
Gladly
can drink the beer,
accepted. Yes.
we're good.
that
Did you
is
see
a
how we jumped on that?
fair trade. Fair trade.
Done.
See, every
Glad to
great
be-
adventure, even great beer ones, every like mission, they have a name. You gotta name your beer.
Like A1, B2.
No,
How can you
we
test
name
something
every
if you
single
name it?
barley corn that goes through our malting process.
Susie and Jimmy
yeah.
and
John.
Yeah, we think
John
of them as
Barleycorn.
little athletes. We're just trying to get them all to finish the race at the same time.
You are such good trainers. Like,
buddy.
Olympic
It's
athletes.
pretty much what we do. We're like a coach. But we like alter the course. So we're changing the temperatures and the moisture just to try to get them all to finish at the same time. We're like the socialists of athletes. Just, you know, finish at the same time.
You can do it.
We all want you to be perfectly modified at exactly the same moment.
See, here I am talking about being a cheerleader and being like a good like mom. Like, come on, sweetie, it doesn't matter. You can do it. And you're like, no, boom, get it done right now, just like your brother.
That's right. I want you all to do exactly the same thing.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're not going to do 8,000 pounds by hand.
No, so we have equipment that we that actually should have been in by now. So it should be in the next couple days.
So does it have like little tweezers and it just goes through and picks them? Like what kind of stuff?
No, at that point they're really brittle and dry. So you can just by hand pick one up and just rub it together, and those rootlets will fall off because they're really dry at that point.
Okay.
And so once we've separated them from the malt, we then actually have to, they're still all mixed in there, and we actually have to separate those rootlets out along with any thin grains or any chaff, or any chaff would be straw.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, we
Could
love
see-
the
I could see, like-
terminology.
yeah, so like,
Do you use like a sieve?
yeah, so we have
Second
a giant
sieve in this series.
Oh, wow. Nice.
yeah, so we use giant screens, and we will run the then malt through these screens. We'll winnow it, which just means a grain grower will blow wind through the barley or the rice or the grain as it falls, and anything that's lighter than you would like will blow out. And so through a combination of winnowing and those screens, we will separate those rootlets and any undersized kernels. Undersized kernels create problems in milling and mashing for our customers. So,
What happens to those guys? Those little guys.
well, they either get composted or
Okay.
hopefully we're trying to find some farmers. So if there are any farmers out there that would like
Do you have contact information? Can I find you on Twitter?
you can find me on blueoxmalthouse.com.
Okay,
Perfect.
sounds good.
And send us a note. We have a contact form there. And we'd love to see it because those rootlets especially are really high in protein. They would make really great animal feed.
So when you are up and running
Yep.
next year, full year, will you make enough malt for the state or
No.
one brewer or like
You know,
where are you at?
We could, if one brewer wanted to work with us, we could, one of the larger ones, our production could be absorbed by that one brewer. One of the first things I did when I started this was did a survey of brewers and determined that there's over 70 million pounds of malt imported into the state by the craft beer, and that was in 2013. They're expecting, their volumes to grow. So really, I mean, we're talking tens of millions of pounds of malt, if not, soon to be hundreds of millions of pounds of malt coming in. If all of the grain in Maine was malting quality, and I'll just say it's not, but let's say it was, we could probably meet that demand in state.
Wow.
But
Incredible.
we won't. So yeah, we're talking about 8,000 pounds here, and I talk about the size we're coming into this new market, but we're still really small compared to the volume of what's out there. We are really capital intensive. It costs a lot of money to start a malthouse, and it's I'm feeling that right now, and so finding the balance of scale to get off the ground has definitely been one of the pieces of the puzzle.
Hey.
That we've been, yeah.
But you must feel the support from
Oh.
the Maine. I mean, they must be excited that you're here.
Yeah,
First of
there's definitely a lot of support in Maine for using a local craft malt house, and I should say that this year as well, there's there's a farm in Aroostook County that has also begun doing on-farm malting,
good.
and so we are not the only malt house in Maine.
Oh, good. That's great for the northern
Yeah, they're-
economy too.
Yep, it is, and and there's a large enough market, and I would love to see more people bringing the processing capacity so that more Maine beers can be not only brewed locally but sourced locally as well.
Absolutely,
And I think
yes.
that's really kind of what we've been finding is that, if you really think about it, craft beer is not that old here in Maine, 86. That's really not that old. And so now we're starting this new wave of pushing through the craft beer, which is really talking about getting the craft ingredients, the local, here it is grown and made ingredients. And I think it's kind of the next big wave.
All that money that the industry is putting out of the state, and I should say that they are putting a lot of money into the state, Maine's economy too. It's really impressive in terms of employment and everything else that they're
Yes.
doing. But right now, all the money they spend on ingredients does go out of state pretty much. And to be able to capture that and put that towards Maine farmers who are struggling to make a livelihood
Yeah.
on their farms and make their farms profitable would just be this great connection. And it's the connection that is really exciting, and that got me into malting.
Good.
Okay, so you gave
Okay,
us.
so yeah, I gave you this. Sorry, I just cut you off there. But yeah,
It's all right,
so
yeah.
I was going to say, so you can sort of smell it. I don't know if you can smell it or if you want to cut this bag here, handful, get a sense of what it smells like. With all this humid weather, the grain it feels a little bit moist to me. This malt will be a little bit drier because we've been keeping it
In a Ziploc.
in a Ziploc bag.
Is that a technical tool that you use?
Ziploc bags?
Ziploc
Yeah,
bags.
for our samples, we use Ziploc bags. We basically, we want to keep.
Ziploc as a sponsor.
It's not a bad idea. Well, I will work on that. It were probably not a typical use for them.
No,
True.
we will.
So-
we will send a tweet out to them. We'll see
Yeah.
how that
So
goes.
I would love it. So I'm gonna pass this to you, and you can sort of smell it, and then taste a little bit. Get a
Taste
sense. Yeah,
Oh, all right.
I mean you can totally taste it.
You can, if you've ever made beer, it has that sweetness to it. It has that
Yeah,
sweet.
that sweetness is maltose.
Oh.
Like a sucrose or glucose, any of those sugars. One of those sugars that it can make is maltose,
That makes sense.
and so you'll immediately sort of notice it is going to be a lot sweeter.
It's actually kind of good.
It's pretty crunchy.
She
I mean,
is.
Can she have a bag of that to put some milk on in the morning?
well, I mean,
Is this my cereal?
I
Is this my
think
new cereal?
I think like grape nuts are made half out of malted barley, so
That's what it
a lot
tastes
of
like.
people will associate it with grape nuts.
So
Like an ice cream, grape nut ice cream.
Oh, malted milkshakes. I mean, there's a reason those things exist.
I mean,
Hello, thank you.
Tandem makes that malt iced coffee. Have you had that?
What?
I have not had that.
Oh, you have got to. Amazing.
Tomorrow.
Well,
So I tried chewing on one of the barleys, and they were a lot harder.
they are a lot harder because that's what we do in the malting process is we break down all those cell walls, all those support systems that are basically locking away all the starches, and we take those and we break them down and we create enzymes out of those. And so we're really actually providing this packet, especially in a base malt, we're providing a packet of enzymes and starches, and then that mashing process, that first step of brewing in all grain brewing is where that conversion happens. It's where those enzymes are reactivated and create those fermentable sugars.
Science again. Love it.
So
Yeah,
It's
tasting
fascinating.
tasting the malted barley actually really brings me back to a childhood memory. We went to Florida quite a bit, and Busch Gardens was brewing beer back then. And there's this smell that, because they were brewing so much beer, took over the entire park. And my mom actually would get these massive headaches from it, and we would leave early. Sad. But this is that smell, but sweeter. And it's just like this like sweet malt. I personally love that smell.
Yeah.
And it's just, it reminds me of so many memories. And it's just like, just slightly sweeter, but that beer brewing smell. Like if you could put that smell on your tongue.
It is. It's after water. It's 90% plus of the non-water ingredient in beer.
So 90% of 10%?
Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, water definitely is the largest ingredient in beer, but per 6 ounce bottle of, for 12 ounce bottle of water, like a can of 12 beer, it depends a lot on the beer style, but let's use like an American lager as an example. You're going to have about
American lager.
Of course. and there's about a little over half a pound of malt in each of those 12 ounce
Wow.
that's used. To put that in perspective, there's like 0.06 or 0.006 pounds of hops if the malt is the like body of the beer. The hops, might be the clothes. I don't know. Just take that a little bit.
I wasn't you were talking
it's
about
sort
like
of
a physical body, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I know. That was really
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's like what you first see. It's often your impression of the beer. To look good, for a beer to be good, you got to have a solid body underneath there.
There you
Talking
go.
style and fashion here.
That's
Folks.
right.
You
Tim
didn't
Gunn.
know that this is where this is going.
No,
but we're really
I
all
know.
about
Tim Gunn,
style
yeah.
and fashion. I don't know how far we want to keep going down
know.
this road, but we can
We'll go
stop
to round,
right there.
Should we go to round 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just gonna
All right.
head right into round 3.
That
That
let's
sounds
go
like
there.
a good idea.
Good plan. So we would like to know what your first beer memory is. Round 3 is what that is.
Yeah, so I was such a good boy in high school. So even though this is a high school story,
This is what we want, folks.
Yes.
even though this is a high school story, I was not drinking beer in high school. Me and my friends or my friend, one friend in particular, I grew up in Old Town, Maine, and we were trying to sneak into a concert at the University of Maine, and it was like out in one of their fields, and so we're like trying to go in through the woods, and I don't know, it was, who even knows, but anyway, so we were unsuccessful, so that's the end of the concert part of it. But while we were tromping out through the woods, found some old beer bottles, as you might find in the woods around
Any place, Maine.
any place, Maine, especially a university. There's this beer there. This is kind of embarrassing. I can't believe I'm telling you. So, good job, you.
We're like Barbara Walters.
Yeah, that's
This is like
right.
the
So,
crying portion.
I found this bottle of beer, and I was like, this smells so good. Like, it was empty, but I just like for some reason smelled the bottle of beer. Who knows why.